We are going over ND tasks, the tasks module in NetDocuments today. We'll go over that in a second. Before we'll do our normal housekeeping, NetDocs updates, optimal updates, and then NetDocs tips here. So let's go over to our NetDocs updates. At least I bookmarked it now. There is well, I don't know why it's not here. There's a 2026. So how do we find the newer one? There is a 2000. Oh wait, no, this is the correct one. All right, so it's 2026. All right, we've got our own web refreshes now. It's not the old one here. Any big changes here? Improved official only version control. All right, so this is cool. You're going to be able to configure someone just to see official versions of documents and not all the previous versions. I think this will be even good with collab spaces. And then there's going to be a new admin setting page for using the M365 Outlook app. That is not ND Mail. That is not ND Save. That is something else. So those are coming out to be released not tomorrow. All right. Well, I guess I should get working on some blog posts about those. Let's see what else on the new releases. Pattern Builder update, M365 update. We talked about that. That's just trying to get everything running in the 365 app. Let's come over to Optiable. NetDocs tips, anything new here? How to search by created date and modified date using one query. So I want to treat this as an or search and not an and. So I want to find everything created or modified after this date. I created an article explaining how to do that because I needed to do that for a client. So I figured there and how you can run that syntax there. How to control who gets access to the NetDocs AI assistant. So they enabled the NetDocs AI assistant for everyone if you have that. And I've just gone over and shown you how you can disable that and then choose which groups of people get access to that. Event-wise, we're doing task training now, and then we've got an office hours at the end of the month, and then we'll be doing chat link June 3rd. All right. So here, let me just do this. All right. Let's get into what we're talking about today. That is ND tasks. Okay, now this is an add-on module. I want to be very clear about that. Very clear. Not everyone has everything with NetDocs. I do training on NetDocs products, but you could just have NetDocs and not have ND tasks. So let's go over first. How do we find out if our firm has purchased ND tasks? In admin, so you have to be a repository admin. I'm going to come over to information and settings. I will click on information, and this will show you every NetDocs product that you've purchased. Everyone pretty much has organized. I mean, almost everyone. And then there's protect. If we come over to plan, this was a group, there is ND tasks. When they say build customized workflows within workspaces to track team members' activity. So that's how you determine if you have ND tasks. The other thing, and we'll include this here, is that we definitely have our ND tasks guide, which is completely up to date. So I rewrote this thing over the weekend on how to use the tasks module. Now, the one thing I'm going to put here, and unfortunately I talked about it the last time we did this training, is what you need to do, what we need to do here. If you're a member of the support portal, Like if you can log into the NetDocs support site, I'm gonna just, well, sorry, my copy doesn't work here. So is there a better way to do this? No, there's not. I can do it this way. All right. If we go in here, there's a vote. If tasks, part of tasks are task templates, and that when we create task templates, for some reason we cannot create subtasks. So I think this is critical that NetDocs adds. I pasted it in there. If you are a member of the support site, you can add that. But this goes over how to use ND tasks, and we're going to go over that in the webinar today. And like I said, there is a training manual and there's a video to go over it. So tasks, we talked about add-on product. Your firm may or may not have it. Okay. Um, it's basic. I wouldn't replace it with a practice management software's task capability, and we're going to go over it today, but it is basic task management. It's not full blown on task management with a whole bunch of workflows and triggers and stuff like that. Um, Practice management light, and it emphasizes the light there. So it's not going to replace your practice management software. Now, I can see if I have tasks set up because I have tasks here on my bar here. All right. And this is a task board that I have set up here. So if your firm has purchased tasks, how do you get this to show up here? Now you could do it one at a time by coming over to customize workspace and checking off the tasks. But what we've done is we've come over to admin. We've opened up the client cabinet. We've gone to define workspace templates. This is all in the manual, by the way. And we've checked enable tasks. Okay. And the one thing that you can do if you're creating different workspace templates like litigation, estate planning, you could have it enabled for the estate planning matters, not have it enabled for the litigation or vice versa. And we can create task templates for different areas of practice. Okay. So let's just go over that real quick as well. And I'm not going to create a task template for a different area of practice. I will just create it for, let's say, all matters. So if you have task templates and you go into the cabinet, there is a task templates section right here. If we click on that, and I've created an intake here, fill out the intake sheet, send client engagement letter. Let's add something like receive client engagement letter. All right. And maybe run conflicts check. Because now I'm not going to do that because that's there. And in fact, let's just delete this. This is stupid. Because why is this stupid here? Let's just redo the whole thing. I have this task board set up in a matter. I'm not doing a conflicts check. They're already a client. So like I've messed up if I've waited to this long here. So let's come over and I am going to create some new ones. So let's do this. Schedule initial meeting with client. All right. That's something that you're probably doing. Schedule draft questionnaire and send to client. All right, there's something there. Let's see here. Send matter over email to client and draft initial work plan. Maybe these are things that we do on every single matter here. And so now I've created an intake board. So every time I create a new matter, well, let's hit update here. We have this intake. Now, to get this to work on every matter, we're going to come over to define workspace templates, add task board template, and then we have intake, which we'll turn on here. We already had it on. So that means every time I create a new matter, those tasks are going to get assigned. All right, now just go down the list here. All right, so let me come over to the Skynet acquisition. Here's a taskbar board. This automatically got designed. It's broken down into 3 areas: to-dos, doing, and done, but you can completely customize that. Now let's see here, because I don't know the answer. If we refresh the workspace, do we refresh the intake task board? Because we completely changed it. We do not. Okay, so then it's just going to have to get, yeah, so there isn't a way here. So let's just create a brand new matter real quick so we can see how this works. So come over to profile attributes. So if you update that task board, you are then going to have to go in and manually add those tasks. So we'll do 999, matter key is 007, and we'll call this tasks example. And we will hit add. And there we go here. And let me fix the name. All right, so a new matter has been created. When we go over there to open it up, this is the workspace is being created right now. NetDocs is going to have something run here. So let's come over to tasks now. All right, here are the tasks that we created. So they're going to show up on every matter. And then the idea here is that you can drag them around as you're working on them so we can see where we are in the process. In this example, this task board has to do, doing, and done. Those were the examples here. Let me come over to the one that I've been working on here, general dynamic. We're going to come over to the task board. I find this is better for a law firm, and you can set it up this way, and I could set up the task board. Pre-assignment, these are tasks that have not been assigned to anyone. Assigned, these are tasks that have been assigned to people. In progress, I am actually working on the task. Manager approval, waiting for someone to review the work that I've done. Completed, I am done with the actual tasks. Now, the problem here is assigned. These have not been really assigned to, like this one here hasn't been assigned to anyone. So if we click here on the task name, we can start assigning people. And I'm going to assign myself here. All right, so this is where you can actually go in and assign different tasks to you. Assign yourself here. So that's more official, right? Because if they're assigned to someone, they should be assigned to someone. So here's the task board. Now, if I come over to my tasks, these are a list of tasks that I have to do, and we can see who they're assigned to here. So we have all these tasks to do here. We can see the tasks that are assigned to me. All right, and now tasks can be assigned to multiple people. Now it's showing you at the bottom, these are all the tasks that haven't been assigned to anyone yet and need to be assigned to someone. So at the top, we're seeing your tasks that have been assigned to you. At the bottom, you are seeing tasks that have just not been assigned, just so those don't get left. Now, if we come over here to filter, we can come over and filter by task board, what workspace. So I could say, hey, just show me everything that is in the Bluth company, let's see, tasks example. And then we hit apply. Now we're only seeing those 4. So my tasks is an area just to see all the tasks assigned to you, regardless of what matter they're in. And there is a assign to option here where you could see all the tasks, say, assigned to Craig. So, or I could see all the tasks assigned to other people as well. And let me just unfilter this out here. All right, so now I'm seeing all the tasks assigned to Craig, and it is showing me the workspace here. So let's come back over here to general docket. We're going to come over to tasks. So you can create your own tasks by just coming over to add task name, call client. And that is creating a task right there. Now we'll open up call client. So besides the actual boards, we can create them this way, like okay. Now this is what I'm talking about, subtasks. So call client. And then schedule appointment. That would be these are subtasks, which are great. The thing here is that I want to be able to create those subtasks in the task template, and I am unable to do that right now. Over here, estimation of time. Unfortunately, this is our options here. So I don't have like 0.5. So I'm just going to be 1 here. Who is this assigned to? I'm going to choose assign to myself. We do have these tag options here, which we don't have any right now. So in the manual, I give you some examples about actually creating tags, but we'll call one right here, add new tag, and I'm going to call it phone call and give it the color, what is this, purple or blue? Save. All right, so we can see it there, and we'll just hit save this task here. All right, so call client. Now I've assigned it. And in fact, I'm going to move this to in progress. One of the things I can do here, I don't know, maybe did I not? Oh, there's phone call. So save. All right, so now we see that the task is phone call here. I want to put this on my calendar. The way to do that is I'm going to give it a due date of today. All right, and then I can hit save here. That did not put it on the calendar, but let's open this back up again. Add to calendar, and we'll do Outlook Cal. Okay, that just downloaded a calendar appointment. And now I'm going to open it up in Outlook. Call client is due, and then there it is. So it is actually just showing up on my calendar. It will show up as an all-day event. I could hit accept, and I guess I could change this. Let's see, does it allow me to change it? Guess it doesn't, so it's just going to be an all-day event. Yeah, because I don't think there's really a easy way to change it here, but that's how the actual adding it to your calendar works as well. All right. So let's just come back in here. And then when this is done, I can move it over to completed. But even moving it to that completed board, I still want to hit mark complete. So we know it's done. So anything over here, even though it's been completed, we should mark this task complete. So this is going to not show up on any lists now because it's been done here. All right. So again, I'm just hitting the checkbox here that I'm completing them. Draft initial client deliverable. How vague is that? So we can put in here a better option. The other thing that we can do is, because this is NetDocuments, is on the task, we can actually go into the workspace and choose documents from the workspace as well. So now you have to just kind of cycle through this, which is kind of hard if there's a lot of documents in here. So what we really want is the ability to search, add document. Yeah, select all files from current folder. I mean, no, I don't want to add, that would add everything. So it would be nice if we had an actual search capability here. Other than that, you're going to have to go into each folder to find the documents. So you can link a group of documents together. So you can see that comments. All right. So you can put comments to someone. When you at them, it should email them about those comments. Let's come back in here to assigned. So we talked about actually having a due date here that you can change, and that is something that's tracked. There is the ability to color code certain things. So the idea here is that, and I have some examples in the manual where you can start coming up with codes with tags and color codes that actually kind of make sense when you're viewing it. Now that's something that comes up as like a firm group here. So like, for example, let's see here. Well, so maybe if red is urgent, okay, yellow is pending review, green approved, blue is informational. Again, these are rules that you kind of come up with. And I kind of talk about what we've seen work here. So this user generated tags. Let's filtering here. No, this is on page 25. All right, after attaching documents. All right. Tag colors. All right. So litigation phases. Maybe you have pleadings, discovery, motions, trial prep. So you can filter between all those. Priority levels, high, medium, low. Departments or roles. These are examples of tags. Approval status. And then so red, urgent, disapproved. Yellow, pending and review. Green, approved, completed. Blue, informational. That way, when you're just looking at the task, you can see the color code there, and there's where you're seeing the code. Tasks can be assigned to multiple people. All right, now this is assigned to 2. And, we can come over here on the tag here, and we can change this to manage tags, add new tag here, pleadings. And then let's do that. All right, it's still running. It's still running with one tag here. It's not showing the 2 different colors, but those are examples there. So we've talked about details, description, tags, assignees, shows you who is created by, documents, where you can add documents from NetDocs, comments, ongoing comments with the firm members about the task. Now, I said if you at someone, you will get an email. So in this example here, we added Wayne Jarvis, so Wayne got this email. And then if you click on view comment, it should open up NetDocs and bring you right to the task. The way we're getting that at Craig Bayer, that's going to send an email to me saying, hi, Craig, with a link back to the task. So when you're using the comments and you at, people will get information about that task. All right, the filter over here, this is where we can filter by status, complete, incomplete. We can filter by tag. So if we start adding those tags there, I could filter by, litigation, pleadings, discovery, trial prep. Estimated time is 1 hour. Who created it right here? What are the due dates? who's it's assigned to, and then this is just the different status. So pre-assignment, manager approval, in progress, completed, or assigned. We are on a task board. Now there is this right here kind of switches this between list view. List view is a list of all the tasks, and this kind of summary view, which shows you everything organized in this board. Over here is a full screen that is going to show you everything. And this makes it a little bit easier because I put a lot of tasks on here. It's a little bit easier to see in full screen. Anytime you go into tasks, you're in a board, okay? So I can come over here, switch board to intake. Remember, intake is the one that we just set up. Or I can come over here and create new task board, okay? And we'll call this prep for client meeting. All right. And so now we have 3 task boards here on this matter, and I can come over and switch between this one, and then I would, verify client will show up. So you see multiple matters have multiple task boards. All right. In the manual, we talk about the recommended column structure. So to do, doing, and done is what you get. If we come over here to this one, to do, doing, and done, and if we come over here to this one right here, you're seeing how I went in there and I changed. You can rename these. You can add new lists. So this pre-assignment is a task list. You can add a new list here. So add list, super done. So after completed, I guess I can make it, it's a stupid example there, but that just shows you can have these, you can customize this any way you want. We talked about looking at the filter here, the colors. Yeah. So let's go to the question. Are you able to link live documents in the matter to be removed and approved? Yeah. When we open this up and come over to documents, this will allow you to add documents from the NetDocs workspace that you are in. So then you can come over there and choose it. The problem here is that it's not allowing you to search, so you have to actually select it. So practical if it is a workspace that has, a couple hundred matters, but once you get over like a couple hundred documents, like say 200 or less, but once you start getting to a lot of documents, you do have to scroll. I see nowhere of searching when we open this up. And even if I start typing in, it doesn't search. I mean, you're going to get your folders first. So if it's in a folder or filter, you can drop in there and see it. Now, let me come over here to the Q&A. No questions in the Q&A. So the reminders, let's do the reminders again. Okay. So assign matter to paralegal. Okay. How do I get it added to my calendar? I have to give it a due date. Doesn't have to be today, but I can put over there. And then, I have to have it assigned to someone. So let me assign it to myself. So those are the 2 requirements. Then I can click on add calendar, which is going to download this calendar event here. And then in Outlook, you will then see it. So this is due today. Now you're seeing it not as a to-do. You are seeing it on your Outlook calendar right here as an all-day event. So it shows up at the very top there. There isn't the way that, what I would want, and I get what you're asking here, because I've used other programs that like PC Law that would do this. I have this task due on the 15th. Remind me on the 5th and the 10th about the coming up. It does not allow you to do that. Are you able to see tasks assigned to others across the NetDocs and just not one matter? You are. Let's come back over here to my tasks, okay? So my tasks says my tasks, right? My meaning me. If we come over to filter, we can come over to assign to. And then I can come over here and see tasks assigned to people regardless of who they're assigned to, regardless of what matter. So you can filter it by assigned to under my tasks. I know my tasks looks like it should only be yours, but it does give you that option to see who the tasks are assigned to. You can also filter by who created them. You can also search tasks if you have a lot of them. So here are the filters. This works kind of like just the search filters do in NetDocs. And here we're seeing tasks that have been completed. And then there's the ability to filter by status and say, hey, show me uncompleted. I don't really want to see tasks that have been completed. Like that, I really only want to see tasks that haven't been completed. Then I can come over here, open this task up, and if I want to complete it, I just check the box there, and now I'm no longer seeing it. Any other questions about tasks? It's basic. We're not going to need the hour today. And I really hope that NetDocs updates it because I think there's a couple of things that they can do to make it a little bit better, which is why I put that in the chat about voting for the sub tasks. Because if we come back in, and let me just show you, because I showed you all these features in tasks, but when we come over to the task templates, here's the intake one. There's really nothing for us to do here except create the to do. Like I can't go in it and say, all right, make this due 5 days after it's assigned to someone, have these 6 subtasks. I can't do it. All I can have is the to do itself, and someone has to go in there. If you change the due date, does it change the calendar event in Outlook? No. And that's a flaw, right? Because I can just tell you that I know that right now because the calendar event is not actually linked to anything. If I make the due date here and I assign this to myself, it gives me the ability to create a calendar event. But I mean, we're downloading it via an ICS file, so it's not actually linked to anything. So this gets set up. Well, now I come over here and I'm going to change the due date to the 13th, add to calendar. Okay. And then I have to come over here and open it. I'm going to have those 2 dates on my calendar. Draft initial work plan for here and draft initial work plan. So now it's on here twice. You would need to have to go back into Outlook and delete it. So ideally, NetDocs basically created this more that it wrote the calendar event and would move the calendar event as it got reassigned. But that is a lot of Outlook synchronization capability, which I realize some of your practice management software allows that. Can you add the task to other people's calendars? I think mm, no, you cannot. It's another issue. I'll build these all into an FAQ. It's just going to be like, no, you can't do that. These are the things that I request NetDocs to be able to do. You can see. So here's the thing with tasks. Again, and this is maybe where I'm missing something here, is that if you set up tasks here, if we go into my tasks, I want to see what other people are doing. So I'm going to go to assign to, and I want to see everything that's been assigned to Craig. Now, and then I could go over and it shows me the workspace, the board. If I click on the board, I guess maybe if I don't, is that the issue? If I don't, but I mean, that board, it shouldn't be hidden. I mean, everyone should have access to that board. Let's come over. Yeah, so that works. So that's how you would do it. So if you came into tasks and then you filter by assigned to, and you choose someone, then you will come over and see the task name and you will see the board and you'd be able to jump into it. So my task, again, is a misnomer. It shows all the tasks assigned to everyone in the firm. Okay, it's not just showing there. I mean, tasks are kind of open to everyone. I think the only issue would be is if you couldn't see that matter itself. There is not, there's no security on here that's blocking it from one user or another. So if I assign something to someone, could you see it? The button up here will archive the task, just making it, you're not seeing it anymore. I think most people just check stuff off. And then they filter, by, they come up here and they filter by status uncompleted. Any other questions about ND tasks, which you get with the plan package in NetDocs? We will we'll create the FAQ based off of this because I just want to be completely transparent. And so I'll create the FAQ on tasks. Manual should be pretty up to date and does have some good examples of when people use the different tags and when they use the color codes. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for your time today. We got an office hours coming up, and then we'll talk about ChatLink, which is basically the NetDocs Teams integration. All right, have a great day.